One, two, three. Okay, let's get into it. Kia ora and welcome to this episode of the Solo Sessions. This is an experiment. This whole Solo Sessions is a year where every week I sit down for about 15 minutes and spin some yarns. And it's like my form of documentation, a bit of a vlog, it's a vlog, but it's not. It's an audio log, whatever that's called. If you're new here, welcome along. Today I'm mixing it up completely. I am doing a bit of a setup outside in the outdoor area of my house because the goal of these solo sessions is to be able to take them on the move and just kind of do them wherever. So this week I kind of set myself a bit of a challenge to set something up super quick outside, and I really wanted to, this is being very selfish here, just wanted to know if the audio gets ruined by a bit of wind. There's a bit of gust around, there's a bit of noise, there's a bit of madness, but things are getting blown left, right and centre. She's all go. Okay, the solo session this week, I've got to kick into it. It's the final week of the World Buskers Festival, Bread and Circus. So had a few sessions this week where I was out hitting the streets, filming some different shows. Some of those shows were freaking gold. Like they were this one I went to on Valentine's Day, Friday night, about 10 o'clock. It was like called the Palaver. It was with Shay Hooray and Dai Hemwood and a bunch of other people. It was freaking crack up. It was really, it was really well done, and it was fun to film. They had some really interesting performers, but yeah, it's been pretty cool. So the big task next is to edit that bad boy. I've got to whip out a bit of a recap of the festival from the footage that I have. Now the footage I gathered was probably only showcasing a quarter or maybe a third-ish of all of the shows. There were so many different freaking shows, so I'll try my best to whip that bad boy up as soon as possible. Another recap edit that I need to work on in the coming week or two is Nostalgia Festival. Now that happened yesterday, and if you're like, hey, what the hell is that? It's a festival that is based in Ferrymead Heritage Park here in Christchurch, New Zealand. It's a bit of a it's a bit of a cool vibe, one-day festival where some musicians from all over kind of get together. There's a few different stages. There's food, there's good vibes, there's funky dress-ups. There's kind of like an alty kind of look with little craft stalls and a bunch of different things. It's really cool. I went for the first time last year. Now they said, hey, can you come film? Went there and was like, damn, I wish I was partying. This is freaking awesome. So this is my second year back, and it was the same thing again, pissing down with rain in the morning, and I was like, oh no, that's never a good time when you're trying to hit up a bit of a festival and it's raining. But sure enough, it cleared, there were patches of sunshine, everyone was having a really good time. It was freaking cool. But that means I've got to edit a bit of a recap of that as well, about maybe a minute-ish kind of clip. So in the coming weeks, I've got a bit of work to do there. There are a few other projects on the go in the behind the scenes, you know how it goes, but there are a couple of big ones that kind of stand out from the week that was. It has been an interesting week in terms of the podcast. Ripped into a really cool session, cool podcast. I've done 2 this week. Backing those bad boys up, so they'll be dropping in the next week or two. And one of them was with David Mouse and Mac Dewar, two guys who I've met up with a bunch before. I won't share too much on that episode at all, but just that is in the pipeline. It should be good. I talked about it last week in the solo sessions and I was prepared for it. And it kind of went down really, really well. We sat down and we started yarning, and then it just settled into a bit of a groove. And then eventually, you know, when you're hosting someone or asking questions, you kind of, sure you're listening, but at the same time you are kind of preparing for making sure if there's a dull moment or once they've wrapped up their answer, you know where to go. You want to keep moving with the conversation. You don't want it to be like awkward. And so for the first like 15-20 minutes I was like, right, let's get what I need out of this, like make sure I ask my questions and make sure we settle in. And then after that they kind of just had fun with it. They were a really good banter, asked me a bunch of questions, and yeah, went really well. Yeah, it was low key, and halfway through it, I was like, man, we're just having a conversation here. Like we're just chatting. Like this is fly on the wall stuff, which is kind of what I want from some of these like interview or like sessions. But that was bloody fun. Had another good session with Jock. That podcast will be out in a few weeks as well. And besides that, it has been running around like a headless chicken, late nights, early mornings. Training was absolutely phenomenal this week. Had testing week at the gym, which meant I had to find out my max lifts for like clean and jerk, snatch, bench, deadlift, and squat. And luckily, I hit all 5 for a personal best. So it was literally like a PB every day, which was freaking insane. Like day 1 was squats, and I was just stoked. You know, when you're just warming up and you're just gunning for something, and I was like, you never know whether you're going to hit it or not, but smashed that out of the park. And then the next few days, just I don't know, blew my mind, which is really fun. But yeah, besides that, I have been focusing in the last few weeks on like planning and time management, and I'll mention that in podcasts coming up very soon. But just letting you know I'm taking steps and trying to take action to like try and manage my time throughout the week, make sure I track my time. Now, my wife Nicole goes on about me tracking my time and making sure I monitor how long I'm spending on different projects, but I'm pretty sloppy, pretty lazy at it, and it's something that I'm working on, so I'll keep you posted on how that goes. But yeah, I've been playing around with a few different apps and thinking about spending money on apps, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. But I've had a good play with Google Calendar, and man, my Google Calendar looks like, how do I show it to you? If you're watching the video, you'll be able to see. It generally looks like this. If you can see that, like blips and blobs, and look like maybe 1 or 2 things, very vague. And then in the coming weeks, it's like a flipping color wheel or something. It's like insane. There's so much on every day. I've tried to literally block out like every part of my day and figure out when I'm going to do things. Simple things like walking the dog. You just, I don't know, you've got to make sure you plan your day and figure out when you're going to make time for the things that you really care about, which is like having some quality time with my wife and the dogs. And because at the moment it's like work just gets in the way of everything, and then your productive work hours aren't so productive. You're checking Facebook, you're checking Twitter, you're setting up a random account on a different social media. Like you can just get carried away and actually not be productive when you need to be. So that's something that I'm focusing on. This may interest you, it may not, but it's just like what's going on at the moment, because the hours where I'm working, sure, you can like kind of seem busy, but it's like really checking in. Am I ticking off the things on my list? And people say like creating to-do lists, the thing, like there'll be a few on there that you just will bring on to the next day, then you put it on to the next day, then you put it on to the next day, because they're generally like things that you kind of want to put off that are difficult. And I find myself doing that a lot as well. Whenever I'd create a to-do list, there'd be things that just roll on day to day to day and just keep going. So I'm just trying to figure out ways to maximize the work time so I can maximize the chill time. Like, isn't that the goal for everyone? But like, as a freelancer, it's really like you can work as much or as little as you want. So I'm like, okay, how can we figure out this like a good balance where I can chill out with those that I love, hang out with friends, but also get a truckload of work done. Yeah. In terms of music, I've been having a bunch of throwbacks this week, and listening to a bunch of tracks related to artists that are going to Electric Ave. Electric Avenue is a festival that happens in Christchurch. It is next weekend, and I've snagged myself a cheeky media pass. And I'm going to be doing some filming with a local group called The Butlers. They're pretty snazzy, pretty cool, and I've filmed with them a couple of times before. And they were like, yo, we'll chuck you a media pass if you want to do some filming for us. So I was like, hell yeah. So Peking Dark, Ben Harper's going to be there, Pendulum's going to be there, a bunch of pretty awesome artists. So pretty fizzed up for that one. There's a bunch of my friends that are going, so it should be a really cool day. So I'm going to get the filming done. And then once that's all done and dusted, I can pack my gear away and just have a fun time. Yeah, kind of looking forward to it. The beauty of recording outside is that it's nice and peaceful, and I'm just sitting here patting my dog. But the challenge with these is that I don't want to waffle on random things. It's like more of a documenting a moment in time. But sometimes I sit down before these sessions and plan out what I'm going to say. Today, didn't do that at all. I literally sat down and spent 35 minutes editing a Nostalgia Festival kind of sneak peek. I want to put something up on my feed, and I love doing this. Like, I've done it for Buskers a bunch this year as well, where they haven't paid me to make this a certain edit, but I've kind of done it for the love of it anyway. Found a track that I like, and I've done that with this Nostalgia Festival. I just look through the footage. It's a good way to find the clips that you like and kind of figure out ones you want to save for the final edit. But I've had a quick look through, chopped some clips up, found a cool track. I will include this, and if you're watching this on Instagram, if you're watching on YouTube or anything like that, where you're watching the video version, there will be some of that footage overlaying right now, so you can have a look at what Nostalgia Festival is all about. But I'll probably spend a week or two looking through that and chopping up the final version. But I just love speed. I love getting things out there to clients as fast as possible. Had a video that I was creating on the Friday for Valentine's Day for a client, and that, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know what client that is. And I filmed it and probably finished that shoot around 2:30. Then I had another shoot at 6 o'clock. So I had to go home, walk the dog, and edit that. Walk the dog, have a run and a shower. So how the hell did I do that? And edit a clip for them. So I tried my best, flicked it through, and they were like, "Oh, not so phased on the music. It's amazing music, but it's like dominating the clip. All we can think about is the music." So if you don't know, man, the music can be like a real big part of it, but it can also be challenging to swap out. You can kind of base your whole edit and which parts you put where on the music, so that was pretty tough. But got it done, flicked it through, stoked. So it's been like that lately. It's been like, I love doing those sorts of things because it is a bit of pressure, but it's also pretty awesome to turn something around for a client on that same day, so they can post it on their socials. They're wrapped. I'm stressed out, but also wrapped that I could kind of get that done. Then you can invoice it, and Bob is your uncle. You're away. So, yeah. In the future, I've got a few bits and bobs like that. Looking at my handy dandy calendar here, oh my gosh, there's so much going on. Wow, we got weekends. Oh my gosh, it is all go. It's literally 2 weeks until I head off to Aussie for a CrossFit comp, but we've got a wedding that we're filming. We've got some construction shoot. Oh, it's all go. I don't want to bore you with my calendar. Big lessons from this week is manage your time and track your time, and I'm trying my best to do that. But also take a deep breath and just kind of enjoy each moment. I guess that's what I've learned from being stressed out about certain things. But it's like, hey, relax, you'll be fine. And the other thing that if you know metal, that I love is just putting myself under pressure. So saying yes, I'll turn that video around. I didn't have to say that I'd do it before 6 o'clock, but she was like, "Oh, I wonder when do you think you can get me a copy of that?" And I knew I'd be out all night filming, so I was like, looks like I've got to turn it around in like 3 or 4 hours. And I kind of love that. Sometimes you've got to throw yourself in the deep end, otherwise you'll never learn how to swim. Whatever. Thanks for tuning in. I'll chat to you next week. Have a good one. Peace.